On February 23rd, riots broke out in northeast Delhi between Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act and pro-CAA protesters. And now, if anyone don't know about what are riots, then let me tell you that riots are a violent disturbance of peace by crowd. This was also such a riot. This violence took place a major communal turn and led to death of over 53 people over course of next 10 days. More than 200 were left injured. Shops and houses were burnt, and even places of worship like temples and masjids were also being attacked. What led to such violent Delhi riots? The protest began in Delhi and other parts of the country in December 2019 in response to the citizenship bill, which granted the citizenship to the Hindus, Sikhs, Parsis, Jains, Buddhists, and the Christians who were being sheltered from the danger by Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan before or in December 2014. The main point comes here. In the list, we don't have Muslims. That's the main reason for the protests, due to the discriminatory to the Muslims and the threatenings to their existence in the India were also played a major role. This act was seen when protesters combined with National Register of Citizens (NRC). Many practical explaining meetings were held in major cities like Mumbai, Hyderabad, Lucknow, Aligarh, Bengaluru, Kolkata, and many more cities of our country. Most of the protests were peaceful, having a few incidents of throwing stones and burning of vehicles. Peaceful protests in the Delhi, in the area of Shaheen Bagh, led mostly by the women who made nation's capital scared. That women protests in the Shaheen Bagh area grabbed lot of attention, especially before Delhi Assembly election for February 2020, and became a symbol of women-led anti-CAA protests, which inspired more women in other parts of the country to raise the protests. However, the meeting of government were not that helpful except doing road blockage, which discomforted the people a lot. And additionally, on December 15th, several students of Jamia Millia Ismaila University, which was only for Muslims, Hindus were not eligible in this university even for a second, according to the reports. Now coming to the topic, the students of this university injured during the confrontation with Delhi police. Hundreds of police officers allegedly forcefully entered the university and detained more than 100 students. And Delhi Assembly elections of 2020 were also played a major role. On 22nd February, about 1,000 people began a protest near the Jafrabad Mojpur road in northeast Delhi, which blocked a stretch of Selampur Jafrabad Mojpur road, as well as the entry and the exit to the metro station were also blocked. The protest was reportedly in solidarity with Bharat Bandh called Beam Army, which was scheduled to begin on February 23rd. According to Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, and according to the local residents, the attackers who done the protest did not belong to the respective area where the protests were done. According to the conclusions in a preliminary report prepared by the delegation of Delhi Minorities Commission, more than 2,000 outsiders or goons occupied two schools for whole 24 hours to do the protests. As of March 6th, as many as 53 people had been reported to have been died in communal violence. Now I hope that you guys got a clarity about the Delhi riots. Now let's come to the main topic. The Delhi riots 2020, the untold story, why banning a book cannot be easily justified. Indian Constitution guarantees freedom of speech and expression, but it doesn't allow hurting the sentiments of others. India is debating how to differentiate hate speech and the free speech, which has now snowballed into a book ban. The book named Delhi Riots 2020, The Untold Story, was scheduled to release in September, but on August 22nd, the publisher announced they would no longer publish it. A Twitter post went viral which claimed that Bloomsbury India, which was supposed to publish this book, invited BJP leader Kapil Mishra as a guest of honor. Mishra is the same leader who delivered his hate speech a day before the riots, and his invitation has triggered an outrage on the social media, where hashtag boycott Bloomsbury is doing the rounds. Later, Bloomsbury withdrew the book. By analyzing this whole situation, the main question comes here is, should this book be banned or any other book be banned? The answer is no, any book should not be banned. Around 50 books are banned in India, including the Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses, which was banned by Rajiv Gandhi's government in 1988, declaring it as a hate speech. In 2003, the Eastern Indian state of West Bengal banned Taslima Nasreen's book called Lajja. The people in India who call themselves as liberals but regularly criticize the establishment for its alleged intolerance and crack down the free speech just for their own sentiments and self-goal by forcing the Bloomsbury into banning a book. This was the main reason of the Bloomsbury banning the book. Those people who are protesting this book should know that the book can always find a way under a different publisher or a new platform. Recently, a book by Perumal Murugan named as Madhur Bhagan was banned. Its ban was challenged in 2016 and was declared illegal by the court. The choice to read the book or not is always with the reader. If you don't like the book, throw it away. There is no compulsion to read the book, the court said in its judgment. Guys, literally, once think, we have 130 crores of population. If we write a book, any one of these population may get offended. Then it depends on their taste. Taste may vary by person to person. What is right and acceptable may not be same to another guy. Yet the fundamental right to write a book is not illegal at all. Just because a book is on hate speech doesn't mean that it should be banned. What is the most worst example? The Hitler's Mein Kampf. The biography of the Hitler was written in this book, Mein Kampf. This book is just filled with lots of hate, and that hate is repeated so many times. An illogical and poor piece of literature. Still, Mein Kampf book is one of the best-selling books of all times. Its sales continue to rise despite Amazon slapping that book and ban of its many editions. Then why only this book should be banned? To be honest guys, banning a book is not even the wisest way to keep it away from the readers, as nothing evokes, it increases the more curiosity of that banned book. One can criticize the hate speech, but forcing a ban is altogether a different circumstance, leadership or reason. This is not at all an perfect reason to ban a book. After Bloomsbury India says it will no longer publish the book, Garuda Prakashan came to publish this book on Delhi riots. Garuda Prakashan on Sunday said it will publish Delhi Riots 2020, The Untold Story. A day after, Bloomsbury India announced withdrawing the upcoming book following outrage over a virtual pre-publication launch event featuring the BJP leader Kapil Mishra. Garuda Prakashan, which claims to promote Indic narrative, said the book is accepted to hit the stands within 15 days. Garuda Prakashan is committed to an authentic narrative of Indian history, both ancient and contemporary. It is sad to see that other publishers are being driven by extraneous events rather than content of the book. We support the eminent authors of the book to bring out the true picture of Delhi riots, said the Sankrant Sanu, CEO of the Garuda Prakashan. Over 15,000 copies of this book of Delhi Riots 2020, The Untold Story, have been sold in less than 24 hours after it was launched for the pre-order by Garuda Prakashan within the evening of 24th August. The curiosity of the people has even more increased due to this ban of the book. Soon after the book's launch, the servers of Garuda Prakashan Publications crashed due to heavy demand to pre-order the book. The publisher has now updated its server capacity to bear with the higher demand. The book is authored by Monica Arora, Sonali Chitalkar and Prerna Malhotra. These people faced a major backlash from the individuals like William Dalrymple, who mounted pressure on the Bloomsbury India to desist from publishing it. Now let's discuss about the content of the book and the views of its writers. Many people have argued that just because Kapil Mishra and OP India team responsible for spreading fake news during the riots, these people were invited to the book launch event, how could one be sure that book also contained hate speech before publishing it? That argument may hold some truth in it. In fact, most of us didn't know much about the authors, but we are blaming them and trolling them. It's not at all fair. But let's look at the launch event, which happened a few minutes before Bloomsbury announced its withdrawal. It is enough to clear any doubts. The event that lasted more than 2 hours was all about the hate speech and misinformation. Prerna Malhotra, a professor at Delhi University, was one of the writers of the book to speak in the panel. In an animated oratory style of seasoned politician, she straightway declared, "I would like to tell you that Delhi riots were an organized conspiracy of the left lobby and Islamic fundamentalists. It was result of mindset alliance between the urban Naxalites and the jihadis." She continued, referring to a paper or a screen, "The Delhi riots were not riots but first of its kind Maoist type urban warfare in the India." The second writer of the book, Sonali Chitalkar, proudly said that this book takes a stand, but it takes a stand against the Islamic jihadists and the urban Naxals. At this point, I had lost the count for the number of times Jidai and the urban Naxals were used. But Sonali Chitalkar soon thanked the Vivek Agnihotri for introducing us with this term. Vivek was also one of the guests of the honor. According to his own interpretation, the list of the urban Naxals is endless and vast. This term introduced by him was also used for anti-CAA protesters and also by the Home Minister as well as the Prime Minister. However, in an RTI application filed by India Today, Home Ministry has said that it does not have any information about who are those urban Naxals. Nupur Sharma, the editor of OP India, proving how it was an anti-Hindu riot. Her speech was packed with misinformation ranging from statements like student activist Ladida giving an open call for jihad to referring Kapil Mishra as Kapil Sharma. After adding some more fake news about the riots and the Shaheen Bagh, which have been busted many times over the months, the last speaker and the writer of this book, Monica Arora, finally addressed, and there was a huge crowd in her room. Monica defended Kapil Mishra's infamous hate speech and said she would have said the same thing. In fact, anyone in that place would have said the same thing when such goons blocked the roads. This is exactly why liberals protested the publication of this book. It is not only whitewashing but also justifying the hate crimes and is blaming the violence on peaceful protesters and students without any substantial proof. Several people have questioned why someone should protest without reading this book. Some speakers have discussed its content briefly and declared that this book is problematic without reading. Guys, now let's discuss about the chapters which are roughly given by the Monica Arora ma'am. Number 1, Introduction. Number 2, Theory of the Urban Naxalism and Jihadism. Number 3, Citizenship Amendment Act. Number 4, Violence in University like Jamia. Number 5, Shaheen Bagh Model. Number 6, Riots in the Northeast Delhi. Number 7, Conclusion. Number 8, Ground Stories and the Narratives of the Victims. And the last chapter, number 9, Annexure. Now let's discuss about the reactions of the people. A number of people took Twitter as an option to react to the Bloomsbury's decision, with many decrying it. I have not read the book in question and I have no idea if it is good or bad. However, this is obviously not a quality control problem, but instead it is about the censorship. I commit to never publish a book with the Bloomsbury India, tweeted the author, economist and principal economic advisor in the Ministry of Finance, Sanjeev Sanyal. Bloomsbury done a Facebook post and feels that their giving platform for hate will pass in India. Oh well, appeasement of Sanghi falsehoods will not work. Will it adopt similar standards to legitimize and glorify the racists and the fascists in the America and Europe? Tweeted the All India Student Association, AISA. Author Ashwin Sanghi said, "What utter hypocrisy at the rate Bloomsbury India. Why did you agree to publish that book if you had problems with the book?" Congress leader Abhishek Sanghvi said after facing a massive outrage, publishing house #Bloomsbury India has decided to withdraw the book titled Delhi Riots 2020, The Untold Story, which was slated to be launched on 22nd August by hashtag BJP leader, hashtag Kapil Mishra. Sense prevails and so does spine. Novelist Nilanjana Roy tagged a news report on the Delhi riots and tweeted, "Hi at the rate Bloomsbury India. Some reasons why you should never have published a book that pushes the right wing's rotten conspiracy theory about the Delhi riots. Safura, Miran, Ishrat, Khalid, Devangana, Natasha, scores of the local residents who are jailed." So that's it, guys. These are the reactions of various authors and the various people. I had also given my opinion because I also have the fundamental right of giving my feelings in form of speech or in form of a book, and you all guys also have that fundamental right. You can use it in a proper way without misusing it and giving hate speech. So that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please like the video and share this informative video to everybody, and subscribe to Fact Set channel for more updates of our videos. Stay safe, stay home. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.